Situated in the central portion of Sardinia and easily reached from the island's main cities, this area, which includes the territories of the Guilcer, Barigadu and Mandrolisai, offers hikers great variety of trails of historical and natural interest. Part of the territory looks out over the great Lake Omodeo, one of the largest artificial lakes in Europe. Created in the early 20th century by means of the damming of the River Tiso with the Santa Chiara Dam. Today partly submerged and replaced by the imposing dam named after Eleonora d'Arborea. The Omodeo has radically altered the aspect and life of these places, bridling the fury of the River Tiso and creating a mild microclimate which has allowed the development of farming and pastoral activities in the area. In this territory, there are 18 trails with different lengths and degrees of difficulty. The territory of the Guilcer Barigadu Mandrolisai is rich in the remains of the ancient peoples who inhabited the area in remote times. From the village of Sedilo along Trail 610, we reach the Iloi Archaeological Park, one of the few sites in Sardinia which gathers together testimony of different prehistoric periods. As we reach it, our attention is captured by a great and tragic fortress consisting of a central keep surrounded by several towers. This building, very well preserved, rises in the center of a village consisting of several stone huts from different periods, indicating that this was an important settlement for several centuries. A few minutes' walk from the keep, we find the remains of two giants' tombs, built in great hewn basalt blocks, revealing amazing construction skills. These tombs, which are very well preserved, are located on a vantage point, offering a fine view of Lake Omodeo. Another important archaeological site is Surbale, which can be reached from Trail 515A, starting from the nearby village of Teti. This neuralgic site, dating from the Middle Bronze Age, includes the remains of about 50 large stone huts built using a technique different from that used in other villages of the same period. Indeed, their walls show traces of clay and cork, used as insulation against damp and cold. Many daily use objects found during the last excavation campaign are in show at the nearby Teti Archaeology Museum. Scattered along the trails of the Guilcer Barigadu Mandrolisai, visitors will also come across several domus de Janas, the houses of the fairies. These fascinating, mysterious rock-cut tombs date back to the Neolithic period. Still today, we marvel at the skill and complexity with which they were created. Especially beautiful examples are found along Trail 611 in the Pedre Cuba locality in the countryside of Sedilo, and at Monte Simeone in the last part of Trail 513. Close to the town of Sedilo is one of the best-known places of island tradition, the sanctuary of San Costantino. All around this splendid construction dating from the 16th century, on the 6th and 7th of July each year, one of the most spectacular horse races on the island is run, the famous Ardea. The variety of the natural landscape is one of the fascinating surprises awaiting visitors to the Guilcer Barigadu Mandrolisai. The wide pasture lands, Mediterranean scrub, and forests of cork trees and pubescent oak alternate in a range of different shades of green, which in springtime is enriched with a host of other colors. A visit to the Asai Wildlife Sanctuary and the walk along its trails is perhaps the best way to observe the territory's natural environment. This nature reserve is an important wildlife biotope, since it represents an ideal habitat for many animal species. In a repopulation enclosure, visitors can admire close-up a number of Sardinian deer waiting to be set free. Near the service building, seat of the Barigadu forestry station, there is also an old charcoal pile, recently reconstructed for educational purposes. It reminds us that until the recent past, this territory was a source of wood for charcoal production. The nature reserve also has a number of picnic areas. In these lands, granite has been molded over the millennia by wind and rain into spectacular, fantastic shapes, giving rise to popular myths and legends, which have been handed down over the centuries. The most famous of all is the Rock of Sagrabarissa, an imposing natural monument visible from a great distance and accessible along Trail 511. According to legend, this rock, more than 50 meters high, was once a young woman turned to stone by her grief for unrequited love. And indeed, if you look closely, you can make out the graceful figure of a young girl in traditional costume. The plant life and the peculiar shapes of the surrounding rocks create a unique, almost magical atmosphere. Several of the trails prepared by the Sardinian Forestry Agency are also equipped for physical exercises. For instance, the fitness trail in the Craro e Ridunele locality, accessible from Trail 515. The equipment along the route gives visitors a chance for a workout, followed by rest in one of the picnic areas. The trails of the Gennargentu, managed by the Sardinian Forestry Agency, are all clearly signposted and have panels with information on the characteristics of each trail, duration of the walk and route markings. The map of the trail network, together with other information, is available on the Sardinian Forestry Agency's website and from its local offices.